Alright, hello my fashion friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Katya, and here we discuss how to start working, advance your career in fashion. Welcome. Today's topic is why on earth you want to work in fashion. Like, why? What's the core desire here? Let's discuss. Let's dive a little bit deeper. So, I don't know how much you know and how much you've heard, tried, watched, I don't know, about how tough it actually is to break into fashion. It's probably one of the most closed circles, I would say. It's one of those professions where networking and having connections really can, get you ahead, give you opportunities. I'm sure you heard other fashion professionals say multiple times how really fast-paced and demanding working in fashion industry really is. It's not just about keeping up with the seasons and the trends and this collaboration and that collaboration, but also like the whole industry is becoming so mainstream and so popular and so glamorized that I think a lot of young people especially, they have a bit of like unrealistic expectations when it comes to working in fashion. The market, as I said, like it's so saturated that you need to ask yourself, like, why do you actually want to work in an industry that is one of the most environmentally unfriendly and cutthroat and just, not that pleasant. I would say a lot of people who are working in fashion have severe issues with their mental health. They're really, the hustle culture is not doing any favors either, because you see burnouts on a daily basis and people dropping out of fashion like you're a stoner at a college. I don't know. It's no secret that we've seen in the recent years how many people like committed suicide and stuff like that. Of course, it happens in any profession, but probably a lot of people don't realize that it's actually a very lonely profession, because you do work in a team pretty much all of the time. It's very hard to produce anything in fashion if you're not working with someone. But there's also so much, I want to find the right words not to like say anything that I don't really genuinely believe it's true, but there is a lot of people that are not genuine. There is a lot of people who are only always concerned about themselves and getting ahead themselves, and they would literally like stomp all over you just to get ahead or stay at their positions. Depending on what kind of market you work for, the competition is usually going to be very, very high. So, it takes a toll for sure. And I think this is something that, if you're interested, I would really love to discuss in another video, especially because I myself have suffered with anxiety and depression for the last 15 years. So pretty much since I started working in fashion, which just now I'm thinking if those two things are connected. No, my story you can also watch in a video that I'm gonna link somewhere here. But yeah, I'm just interested, like, why? Why do you want to work in fashion? Like, why is this the industry that is so appealing to you? If it's something superficial, like, I don't know, oh, because it's glamorous, because I want my work published in magazines, because I want to go to all these amazing parties, because I want to know all these famous people, because I want to wear nice clothes, because I want to, I don't know, go to fashion weeks. If it's anything like that, then probably this alone is not going to be a solid, good reason enough to really get you to the point where your dream job, your dream position is. It needs to come from a deeper kind of want, desire, source, belief. Otherwise, the whole dynamic of the business and what you need to do, what you need to sacrifice to actually get to the point where you can even just like have an assistant job or an internship is going to be too much for you. So you need to be super, super passionate about it, super dedicated. And it's just like, you know, it has to be one of those this or nothing, you know, this or I'm sweeping the streets, because I don't know what else I would do than work in fashion. It needs to come from this like really deep desire for this creative expression. If it is on the creative side, of course, you can work in the fashion industry and be an accountant or a marketing specialist or anything like that. But I'm talking about the creative positions, the creative professions inside the fashion industry. I was already thinking to make this video like a couple of days ago, and then yesterday I was watching this YouTube live from Matthew McConaughey. I don't know how that even popped on my suggestion screen. I don't know. Anyway, in that live stream, there was this guy whose name is Dean Graziosi, and he explained what I wanted to talk about in this video actually really nicely. He told this story about how about 10 years ago, something like that, he hired this business consultant and they were discussing his dreams, his goals, and his desires. And he had this theory of like, that is called the 7 whys, and it goes something like this. So whenever you have a goal, you need to ask yourself, why do I want that? And so you would say, okay, I want that job, or I want to become a designer because I love to create. And then you have to say, ask yourself again, why do I love to create? And then it would be, I don't know, something in lines of, like, I'm making this up. I'm gonna tell you my story a little bit later. I just want to get you thinking of, like, from what source your need or desire to work in fashion even comes from. Because you would be surprised what you can find out if you haven't yet. So, okay, you love to create. Why do you love to create? I love to create because it gives me this satisfaction. Why does it give you this satisfaction? It gives me the satisfaction because I can put my feelings and emotions in it. And then again, you ask yourself, why? And then you would be, I don't know, because when I was little, this was the only way that I could express myself. I didn't know how to, or it wasn't accepted otherwise. And then again, you ask yourself, why? Do you see what I'm going for? So basically, every answer that you have, you ask again why this is, why you are feeling like this, until you ask the why for 7 times, and you're supposed to get to the bottom of, you know, why you want something. And you can apply this to basically anything, not just like professional goals. You can apply this to any personal goal as well. It works. I still need to go through this exercise myself. As I said, I just heard about it yesterday and it was, you know, that light bulb moment, so I thought it might help you. So yeah, you get to the bottom of those 7 whys, and that is actually the why that is your kind of like emotional, personal connection to why you want to do something. And this emotional why is the core why you would even be willing to do something, why you would work towards a goal. And I find it very interesting because it's true. Like, if it's gonna be something superficial, like, oh, I want to work in fashion because I want to work with luxury brands, like, that is not an emotional connection to the goal. And so it's not gonna be a motivation enough for you to really get out there, put all the work, and achieve it. Same as if I said, oh, I'm going to work because I want to earn enough money to buy a nice car. I mean, that compared to I'm doing a job because I want to provide a better life for my kids. You see what I'm comparing? um, or, because I want freedom, or because I want to travel the globe. Anything that evokes, any reason that evokes a deep emotional response, that is the reason why you should be doing anything in your life, basically. But for work, it's even more so important because, it's 8 hours every day, and if you're working in fashion, it's probably more like 14 hours every day. So you need to have an emotional attachment to that goal, to what you're doing. So I'm gonna ask you again, like, why do you want to work in fashion? Do this exercise. If you cannot come to any conclusion that is like deeply moving to you, then you probably should not be working in fashion. Because, I mean, you can try, but I don't want to like set you back for failure, set you for failure, for failure or anything like that. But it's so true. Like, if you're not emotionally invested in that, the business is just gonna, chew you up and spit you out. Like, it's, like I said, the competition and the dynamic of the business is so harsh that you need to sacrifice so many things in order to succeed. Again, I mean, it depends what your definition of success is, but yeah, I'm sure you're gonna understand. Let me know if this at all makes sense to you, or if I'm just like talking nonsense. Anyway, quickly, I'm also gonna tell my story, and why I'm in fashion. I didn't do the exercise, as I said, but my desire comes from so early. Like, when I was in middle school, I was already so creative. Like, I wanted to write. We didn't have any after curriculums or anything like that in school, so I actually asked my teachers if they can make like a journaling after curriculum or something. It never happened because I was the only kid who wanted that. Nobody else wanted. Everyone was like, playing soccer or dancing. I was like, I want to be a journalist. And then at similar time, I fell in love with fashion when I first saw the movie Clueless. I'm pretty sure you know it. If you don't know it, go watch it after this video. For me, it was mind-blowing. So at that point, I kind of, like, I didn't know yet, but I think that was like the moment where it kind of like became a little bit more intertwined. And I was reading magazines since pretty much I could read. My whole growing up, I was surrounded with magazines. I started reading Elle probably when I was like 17. So I just loved it. I loved magazines. I loved the smell, the touch, the fact that I can go outside in nature. Every summer I would be like buying like stacks of fashion magazines or like youth magazine, and just buying and just reading them on the beach. And so like when I was flipping through the magazines and seeing all these fashion editorials, oh my god, like I had no idea how they are made, but I knew I wanted to make them. For me, it was this kind of like desire to produce like these beautiful pictures, and it had nothing to do with like a glamorous lifestyle. I had no idea like who stylists were, what they were doing, how, if this was like this is pre social media, pre you know, digital era, so all I had were books and magazines. So old school. So like nowadays when everything is moving to digital, I tried working digital and I can't, like I cannot be an editor or a journalist for a digital media. I just cannot relate because it's just a different environment and the pace is completely different. Everything is so much more superficial, clickbait, all that kind of stuff. It just doesn't resonate with me and I cannot do it, and I cannot put my heart and soul in it. So also like I think you need to also kind of think about like which areas are the ones that, you know, make your heart tingle, and you know what really fulfills you. I'm talking about finding a niche, like, yeah, what is that one thing that, you know, is meaningful to you? When journalism is in such a bad shape, and like I feel so many journalists and editors are forgetting about ethics, and you know, it's all kind of like politically steered, and you know, independent media is like, what is that? And fake news and yeah, clickbait and stuff. I really desire to become one of those journalists who just bring value and like valuable stories, and like I want to do something meaningful. I have this power as a journalist, and like I'm writing, you know, 10 ways to ditch a guy. I don't know, like it's just I can't. So that was like a very short explanation of why I was like interested in fashion. So it was just kind of like this obsession with magazines and editorials, and they just made me feel like I can dream and become someone else. Yeah, it was kind of like entering this dream world that was like really not accessible to me at that time. It still isn't. I'm an editor at Elle, and like I don't have a Prada bag, I don't have a Gucci t-shirt or dress or, you know, Chanel bag or anything like that. I could, but my priorities are elsewhere. I put all my money in travel. And so on that note, you know, you can be whatever kind of creative fashion person that you want to be. Your interests and quirks are something that can make you special and unique. Don't lose that. That could be a topic for another video, I guess, because we're already getting like super long. Tell me what you think about what I just talked about. Tell me what is your why. And thank you so much for listening. And I'll see you next time. Bye.